Another example here from the campus about socio-productive inclusion of waste pickers on segregated solid waste collection in Brazilian universities as an instrument for sustainability promotion. Okay, so here a specific workforce that is often an informal workforce is considered for integration into the mainstream to see if that can work as an instrument for sustainability promotion. In Brazil, recyclable waste pickers play a fundamental role in recycling. They make a little money out of it and they wander around with bags on their back and collect whatever they know is going to sell. Despite their importance, the environmental contribution of such work for societies is not well recognized by different stakeholders, and this is true everywhere. Waste pickers are often excluded from many segregated solid waste collection systems. They are socially marginalized and work in precarious conditions. There have been deaths in the piles of waste landfills where kids often run up big piles trying to collect recyclable waste, and then there are slides in the trash heap, and many have died. I think has happened in Philippines and elsewhere. In this context, Brazilian universities face a challenge when it comes to the management of large amounts of recyclable solid waste generated in their campuses. As universities are committed to promoting sustainability, they play a central role in fomenting recyclable waste management and environmental conservation. In that context, waste pickers' social and productive inclusion presents an opportunity to promote sustainable development in the academic environment. Additionally, Brazilian federal universities are obliged by law to destine their recyclable material to waste pickers. Considering that the Brazilian Federal University of Santa Catarina, UFSC, experience on implementation of segregated solid waste collection with the socio-productive inclusion of waste pickers is presented in this article. Okay, in order to achieve a recyclable waste management model, UFSC was used as a living laboratory. It is hoped that the UFSC experience can inspire other universities and disseminate sustainable development practices related to waste management and inclusion of waste pickers as key players in such systems. You can consider this as a normative vision where you are helping a community that is marginalized, and you are making them useful members, productive members of a sustainability effort on campus, and may translate to this may be translatable to the communities outside as well. Without going into the details, conclusion: given the context of social and economic marginalization of waste pickers in Brazil and the existence of regulations for reversing such situation, it becomes clear that it is necessary to promote solid waste management along with waste pickers inclusion. So you're killing two birds with one stone: some social welfare, some equity, some justice, and some valorization of the efforts by a marginalized community. Such practices are not yet adopted by public organizations in Brazil, which if fully adopted would promote social and economic benefits in addition to fostering the dissemination of good practices to the Brazilian society. So from the campuses you can take it outside. On the other hand, some municipalities have already adopted waste management initiatives, although they still lack better instruments to be truly inclusive, efficient, and effective. You have to remember that when big machines come along and scoop up solid waste from everywhere, then the role of the waste pickers may become more and more marginal. So how to keep that economically viable and sustainable is also a key question. Universities have high generation of recyclable waste, play an important role as a source of knowledge and education, and have ethical commitment to sustainable development and the correct management of their recyclable waste. In Brazil, waste management practices are regulated by and must be operated in accordance with the national solid waste policy. So compliance requirements are also met along with this social service. This encourages the inclusion of waste pickers, and additionally federal universities must send the recyclable waste to waste pickers as determined by the federal decree number 5940 from 2006. Is it just making the waste picking a permanent employment? Is it paid well enough as a wage to make a living, or are they still living on low wages and simply more formalized in the employment sector? So there are additional questions that have to be considered, but that's not the point here. Okay, so I will leave this here. We'll come back and look at adapting the economy for the common good for research institutions. So we'll look at case studies from Germany and Bremen and Potsdam. Okay, so again, short podcast, but that's okay. The topics are important and worthy of at least listening to for a few minutes. Okay,